Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Finish doing my thing.
Hold on 1 second.
Oops, I just copy and pasted the wrong thing.
We can't because of the thing. Sorry.
It's okay, my fault.
All right.
You know, the thing. That thing.
Because of the thing. All right, where you go?
That's where I messed up. Yep,
Tom,
there you go.
You seem to have an issue with the way I was doing intros last week. Do you want to do the intro?
Can't hear you.
You're good.
You're listening to episode 298 of the critically acclaimed PHPUgly podcast, where we, the trifecta, some say the second coming of PHP, get together every week and discuss why that was such a wrong comment. Wow! I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is Tom Righto.
I'm first. All right. Good to know.
And John Congdon.
Definitely not professional based on things that happened this week.
We are professional. Now. You got to get the now in there.
Oh my goodness.
What happened this week? What's not? What about this week makes us
Eric,
not
your level's
professional?
low.
You're low.
I didn't think so, but
My levels are not low, my friend.
oh, what made us not professional this week? Oh my goodness, we got an email at PHP Architect saying, "Are you guys even PHP architects? I've been trying to order from your website for 20 minutes on my iPhone, and it doesn't work." I'm like, yeah, whatever.
right.
Everything's fine. I go and try it. I'm like, crap. Now I got to figure out how to debug on an iPhone because I've never really noticed the difference between an iPhone and like other browsers. And
Yeah,
then,
you've never had Safari issues?
No, but I also don't do a lot of front end, so I don't really pay attention to it. And we've had the magazine for almost a year and nobody said there was an issue with Safari. So like, as far as I know, there's no issue. Yeah, I tried it on Chrome on my desktop. Yeah, it still didn't work.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a broader issue.
Broader issue. Yeah, we are PHP architects, but we are not ops architects. So there's no monitoring on the server. We let it run out of disk space.
There's no monitoring. Do you know
If we only knew of a service.
We have.
It's the problem when you acquire something. It's like, oh, this is running. We don't need to do anything right now. Yeah. We definitely need to get Honey Badger on the case.
Disk space.
Disk space ran out of disk space on the web server.
That's interesting because someone had mentioned in the herd channel, or no, I guess in Doom and Gloom, someone had mentioned on Discord, discord.phpugly.com, that it appeared to be a disk space issue.
Yeah, so if you looked at the error response, it definitely said no room left on device.
All right, fair enough.
But
fair enough.
From Safari, I couldn't see that because I don't know how to use DevTools on the iPhone. Safari, and I
you can't.
Still don't.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
you have to emulate. You have to emulate an iPhone from your Mac. Oh, you guys don't have Macs?
No, we do. What are you talking about?
They're not our everyday driver, but we have them in our arsenal of equipment.
We are professional. We have the tools we need to make things work.
Doesn't seem right.
Anyway, we got it fixed pretty quickly. Everything's back to normal. And then in the same day, we have somebody else write to us and say, hey, there's a problem in the Kindle version or the EPUB version of this month's magazine. Like, no, you're kidding me. What could possibly be wrong? Yeah, there was some sort of code fence issue. Often when we make changes as we're editing the magazine, we bring it back into the markdown files, but not always. And I obviously didn't in this one section, but the EPUB is built from the markdown, not from the PDF that we are generating for the magazine. So I learned something new today. Keep the markdown up to date. Fun stuff.
And have tests,
The joys. I'm going to have to say, tests have saved my ass this week. We've been doing a lot of refactoring to the event sourcing, having some fun with it. And I tell you, if it wasn't for tests, I think I would be losing my mind. Either that, or I would have been done so much sooner and just not had known about the problems, which might have been a good solution as well. Damn tests keep calling out problems that nobody's going to notice for a solid week or two.
So how are you feeling with the event sourcing as we've gotten further and further into it?
Still hate it. Still love it. Hate it, love it. It's one of those things. Having fun stuff. I'm going to get things working. I seem to keep bumping up against obstacles where, I'm trying to figure things out. I called you yesterday, I think, because I was going bonkers over a problem, but it's fine. I mean, I have definitely formulated opinions about event sourcing and when to use it and why to use it.
So do you still feel we're not using it correctly for this project?
I don't know. Honestly.
Where's your I thought you formulated an opinion.
I did, and I think I outlined it in a very long response to fucking Steve in the herd channel on Discord, where I basically broke it down. I forget exactly what I broke it down to, but the need to audit, the need to have accountability. And I forget what the third thing was.
See, I still disagree. If I had a magic wand, I would want event sourcing all the time. Like anything that changes in the database, anything that changes the data, I want to know more information than I currently know. I want to know who changed it, when they changed it, possibly why they changed it, where they changed it. Like, did they change it via an API or did they change it via a web interface? Like, what? As much information as I could possibly have, I would like to know.
And see, that's one of the things that kind of caught me a little off guard, because I thought I was under the impression, obviously wrongfully, that event sourcing
That's very valid. But just having the event stream now, you're capturing more than you've captured in the past. And
I get that aspect.
And I want to go like storing the entire request. You're just wasting data at that point, but trying to figure out the things that you will need to a point. And it's that transition between like the states, so you know when it changed and how it changed.
Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah, knowing the state, how a state got into effect.
We actually had a good conversation as we were talking about it. You thought like every single event was almost a snapshot of the entire aggregate, and it was fun talking about it because I got to rethink about it as well. And I'm like, no, if you think about it almost like a Git repo, you start with nothing in there. You have an initial commit of some sort, which is the file is created in events, or in event sourcing, your object is created in an initial state. And then every event after that is almost like a Git commit. It's the difference between what it was and what it is now. So if we're changing the name, all we're saying is the name is now X. So we know something happened at that point in time.
Yeah, and like I said, if you have a need for that sort of auditing, I totally get that, and I'm not discounting it. I'm not saying that there's never value to it. I just, like, in the scenario we're using it for, I don't know if the client is ever going to appreciate that the system is event source, or ever have a requirement where we can say, oh yeah, that's not a problem we have at event source. No, I had early in the project kind of projected some hope of, hey, now when we were talking to the client, it's like, now, hey, if we decide we need to run this sort of report, we'll have that information to do it. But it's one of those things, like we kind of have to present it to the client and say, oh, hey, why don't we do this since we've event sourced it? Not that the client's going to ever sit there and say, oh yeah, I want this certain data that I didn't know I wanted when it started, and can you guys just event source this and make it happen? I don't know. Right. I guess that's where I kind of struggle with it. It's, if it was our application, I would definitely be more on board with it, but I don't know, man. It's hard. I'm liking it, and I'm liking the learning of it, and I'm hoping I get good enough at it where it doesn't feel like such a struggle for me, which is really challenging,
That's the key. It needs to become just another tool in your tool belt, and knowing it. Over on Discord, I know Tom already pointed out, discord.phpugly.com. Unfortunately, this isn't really in Discord. We just get the information in Discord. On YouTube, Zombie Slayer is asking, how does event sourcing work in Europe with GDPR? And actually, we're going to have that issue here in the US before long. And there's tons of bills going through trying to clean up privacy. and we've talked about this in the past with event sourcing. There's a few ways around it, or a few things with it. One, you're still going to append an event that the person wants their information deleted. So it gets deleted from all projections, and in theory, anything that uses that data no longer has access to it, but you still have the event stream. I don't know how it works legally yet. When somebody says I want it deleted, if you technically can't know they ever existed, which I find hard to believe, as long as you're not using their data for anything else, and in general, any of your systems wouldn't have that data anymore because there's now an event saying that it's been deleted. Other ways around it are encrypting the event stream, and you could actually create a key per user, for example, and then when somebody says I want my information deleted, you delete their key. That's a harder way to go, but it's possible, and once you delete that key, there is no access to that data without destroying the event stream. Or you go nuclear and you actually delete their events out of the event stream, which is not a good idea, but possible.
Yeah, with the GDPR, there's your data is supposed to be non-recoverable under any circumstances. So
Is that really?
Yeah.
That's even more challenging when you start to take in consideration backups and stuff like that.
Yeah, the GDPR suffers from a lot of fast movement problems where they got the law passed very quickly without a lot of technical input, and sort of puts the problem in our laps.
But like Eric says, when you talk backups, I doubt that there are companies, unless they're huge, taking the time to go delete your specific information out of their backups.
If anything, I mean, I think the only way you can have you can capture something like that is have a workflow in place that tracks some sort of identifier of the data you've deleted. So it's like, hey, this user ID has been deleted due to GDPR. And then in the scenario where you're doing disaster recovery or a restore of a backup, it has to then get scrubbed by another system that says, okay, is any of this information in this recovery? We need to nuke it.
But if you go with Tom's definition of it can't be recoverable, then that doesn't work, because you have that same thing with event sourcing where the data is in the event stream and then you get to an event where it says it's deleted, so it's gone. But if you recover to a point in time, just like doing a disaster recovery, you have that data.
Yeah, I mean, quick Google here says that France is the one that's really had the most problem cases with this, and that while they don't expect that your backups will be expunged from specific users' data, your backups should have a retention policy that eventually expires user data if they want to be forgotten. And there's a software company specializing in backup and restoration that says the ideal solution is one backup archive per user. So you can actually specify a specific archive to be removed from the backup restoration loop.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah,
I mean, feasible. I mean, it is possible, but yeah, not enjoyable to do.
I don't know. Where are your guys' backups? Do you have them?
Backups? Yeah. I mean, it's
sure.
But we had to recover actually recently. We talked about this on the show, where we had an absolute, drop table situation on a production database. So
fucking Kalen.
we know we can recover for certain clients. I mean, we don't practice disaster recovery like obviously a good IT group should, to our defense, our clients don't pay us to practice disaster recovery either. So, I mean, you never know how good your backup, your restore system is until you need it. It's always one of the joys of the job. I mean, when I was working in enterprise, we actually had to cut over to other data centers and make sure that we had a tolerance of data we could lose between one data center coming down and another data center coming up. And it was not enjoyable. And it never worked either. It was not a pleasant experience, and it never worked. And you really did it just to see, okay, what doesn't work this time that we need to try to fix and make sure it works the next time.
Yeah. It's operations, man.
Tom?
It's not my job.
What is your job, Tom?
How's that going?
Don't have a job.
Sorry,
still on the hunt. I've got a couple hits that I'm hoping finalize next week. Big test tomorrow.
I couldn't
Which
do it.
explains the little can of beer.
I couldn't do tests, man.
So, prepping for that, a lot of front end code research and remembering and stuff like that. The thing I'm doing tomorrow doesn't allow use of an ORM. So I can use the framework of my choice, but I have to write everything in SQL.
It's not an odd requirement.
Well, I think the system doesn't have an ORM, so they want to make sure that I can still work within it. It's a lot. It doesn't
have an ORM, but it has any framework you want to use.
They want to know you know your SQL.
Yeah, they want to watch.
It's proctored
test. They want to watch me write it, and then I have to defend it in an hour-long meeting afterwards.
Good.
Prepping for that because it's been a long time since I've done PDO. Essentially forever, since PDO didn't exist since I last used a non-ORM solution. But it's making progress with that, learning about Alpine, Livewire, React. I hate React, just not a fan. Don't understand why you need 2 DOMs for one application.
I thought React and Vue were very similar. I thought they were pretty close. No?
Maybe in some of the execution, but React uses JQL. I hope it's JQL.
That sounds right. I know what you're talking about. I'm going to say you're correct, yes.
Yeah, sure. Which means that DOM objects aren't really DOM objects. They exist in the JavaScript, and the JavaScript controls the DOM in total. It's a very haphazard way of controlling everything about the DOM. Looked into a lot of the front-end framework stuff because I'm going to be doing front-end framework stuff. But not CSS. I tried Flexbox.
I'm not going to do CSS.
Just not going to.
I'll quit. I will quit on the spot if I'm asked to do anything with CSS.
Drawing my line right here. I'm not doing any front end stuff. You need front end. I'm drawing my line right here. I'm not doing any CSS.
Okay, I'll do layout, but I won't do style.
I'm not doing JavaScript. You can go fuck yourself. You need JavaScript? Okay, JavaScript, no problem.
Quite good at JavaScript. Yeah, so it's a process. I've really narrowed it down to a couple companies that I care for and want to work with at the rates that I want to work for. So, next week we'll see. It should be better or some news next episode.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
We've been talking a lot about, John and I have been pair programming. Usually a day or two a week now. It's gotten up to, and I'm pretty convinced that the only reason John is willing to pair a program with me is because I'm using PHP 8.1, and he just wants to
see
new
it,
shit.
just like catch the contact high from it.
And I am horrible. Like there are certain things I do now. So the thing I'm doing a lot now, and we're trying in this project and understanding kind of some of the caveats to it is property promotion, right? Which has been nice. I don't know how much it really cleans up the code when all is said and done, because
constructor property promotion.
Yeah. I'm still not used to look at it. Yeah, I'm still not used to looking at it, but it's very slick. But even things like null call listen operators, I have found myself abusing the living hell out of that. I throw those things everywhere now. I'm like, how did we code without this?
Well, and I complained a lot about null safe function calls, or null safe methods and null safe properties on objects. And yeah,
we ended up using that this week.
I use it everywhere.
Oh, that's right, we did, didn't we?
We did, and then we opted out of that. Question for you, Tom, since you are on board with the property promotion.
Oh yeah,
I'm torn on public read only, where now things outside can just grab that property, versus having a specific getter for it.
You're not talking about the new RFC, are you?
No. Is there a new RFC?
There's a brand new RFC for 8.3.
See, I led right into that. I'm purposely not.
I had not intended to get into it because we said we weren't going to talk about pending RFCs, but there is a new RFC.
I don't think we said that.
We said that.
No, don't think so.
All right. Well, then I don't care. Asymmetric visibility. So this is the ability to set a difference between the getter and setter of a property on its definition. So its initial definition is the read, or it's hard to explain without seeing it.
How's that different than public read only?
Because you have a writable property that's available to children, but not to parents. So the definition here of this property would be public private set string bar, which means that it is a publicly readable but privately settable string.
So it can't. So anything that extends your class can't change it.
It applies to public, private, and protected. So you can say it's a protected set or it's a private set. And it's up to you to create your setters and getters for it.
Right, but in that case, I can't see what the difference is between public read only and public protected. But to me, those would be the same thing.
Yes, but private,
right, would be different.
Set. Private with a public set means you can set it, but you can't read it. This allows for all sorts of different extenuating circumstances.
No, you're just making things up.
No, I wish. I mean, this RFC.
You would not have a private readable, public writable thing. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't have to make sense. It's a programming language.
Well, that's just
you know that.
I want to see the use cases here.
The RFC itself provides a bunch of use cases, including interactions with the get and set magic variables. I initially had a lot of trouble understanding why you would want to do this, but there are some examples of libraries. I mean, again, it's always third-party code where you say, "Don't touch this. It has to be set a specific way." Or
right. Well, that's the use case of private often.
Yeah.
And I would never understand a private readable, public writable. That doesn't make sense. But there's a use case in here of protected read private set, which makes some sense, where your children can read the variable. It's not readable publicly, but they can't set it.
Yeah, let's say you had a property that had to be hashed before it was stored as a property of the object. So you want to make sure that they use the setter that you've custom defined and not the set property value. Right. I mean, that's something that I've run into a lot with API garbage. You know, that there are cases.
I asked the question because I, not being on 8.1 yet, which I hope to be soon.
Oh, that's adorable.
I love the idea of public read only, where I don't have to define a getter for all of my variables, but that also means I can't refactor my variables because other pieces of the code are now using it, where if I had a specific getter, as long as I don't change that API, everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little scary. Not that I need to refactor variables that often, but
yeah, it's a little
just a concern.
A little tricky. You know, I don't use the read-only property a whole lot. I don't know the idiosyncrasies of it. But this is, you know, another tool in the PHP tool belt.
Yeah. Well, as Eric and I were pair programming, when he was saying I get giddy about like trying new things in 8.1, now we have half the classes that have getters defined and half the ones that are using private read only, and everything just accesses the variable.
Yeah. You know, it's there's tricky stuff, and you might run into errors trying to make these kinds of changes. And you know, it's good for catching those errors.
Would that be?
Honeybadger transforms you into a DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and cron monitoring into a single, easy-to-use platform. Stop wasting your time tailing logs and deploy with Swagger. Visit honeybadger.io today to level up.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Thank you,
Honeybadger. So, John,
super excited about that.
You mentioned earlier about issue with PHPArchitect.com, which, if you're not aware,
yep.
You're right. It is Arch, isn't it?
Arch.
I think Architect goes there.
Redirects, too. Yeah, just redirects.
Anyways, a user opened up a ticket about an iPhone. I know you have switched over to an iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How is that going for you?
Way better than I thought it would. The only thing now is the minor regret of switching away from the Mac with all of the built-in integrations.
Gotcha.
So when I had my Android, I was able to text from my computer pretty easily. Now I don't have that same ability. I would if I were on a Mac, and part of me wants to just set up my my laptop.
That should be, if you log into iCloud, you should be able to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was one of the announcements at the last Apple Developer World Expo seance.
Well, now I got to go check that out. Thanks.
Well, I bring it up because I guess Android or Google is like turning up the heat a little bit about the whole blue box, green box, reply system. Mm-hmm. And they came out with a video. Huh?
Because it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't pay it a whole lot of attention because I didn't care, and nobody in my family uses iPhones, even though I had offered to my wife to switch her to an iPhone, and she flat out declined. She was not interested in moving over to iPhone, and I would totally support that.
Smart woman.
So I just got her another Pixel, but so it doesn't impact me a lot. So I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention. I think it actually impacts my wife more because she does belong to little groups of people who use the iPhone, and I guess the whole breakdown is around SMS.
Yeah.
But I never looked into it and like never cared to figure out why that is. And Google actually released a video that basically said, listen, the entire world has decided to embrace this other messaging platform technology
Standard.
to use, to standardize in this other messaging platform or standard. And Apple continues to sit off on this little island for no reason, no justifiable reason except to do it.
No, it's financial.
Wow.
I mean, I don't agree with that. How is it financial? It's not like people are saying, well, I'm going to buy an iPhone because they've decided to do messaging this way.
Watch MKHBD's video on blue versus green box, and he breaks it down pretty good in there.
So
you're locking people into that. You get that people that want the, oh, I liked the message, and you get the little thumbs up or the heart.
Problem number one is if you're going from an iPhone to an Android system. This has been a decade old problem now, which is that if you are on an iPhone and you're communicating with other iPhone people, you're not using SMS. You're using iPhone's whatever copyrighted live service they provide. This is detected when you first message somebody, so that the next time you try to message them, it won't try to SMS them. It will just send it straight through Apple's platform. So if you switch from an iPhone to an Android phone and start trying to text them, they won't be receiving text from you because their iPhone has recognized that texts aren't the way that this phone number communicates.
So they won't receive or they won't send to you?
They won't send to you. That's true. So this has been fixed. This has been fixed a little bit through patches and stuff, but it's still a pain in the ass. But honestly, iPhone's service is better. iPhone's,
how's that?
Because you can see the read receipts, you can see that somebody liked it or emoji responded to it. It has methodologies for handling higher quality video.
We can do that. I'm pretty sure.
It's different. Like if I were to send you an SMS, or if you sent me one and I liked it, you're going to get John liked this message. You're going to get a separate text saying I liked it versus the little thumbs up on the actual message. And the video and image quality thing is true. Like if my wife sent me a video, it would come through all cropped and look horrible versus full quality.
Well, not just full quality. So MMS.
That's because you guys were you guys are crossing platforms,
right?
And they explain why that is, because what Apple was doing is they were just converting it back to the old school SMS protocol.
Right. Yeah, Apple video being sent to my Android is unwatchable.
Right.
But Apple to Apple is the highest quality, and Android to Android is a medium quality processed picture. So the Apple to Apple communication really has the best quality. Android to Android has a usable quality, but Apple to Android,
I wouldn't say it's not. So my wife just sent me a picture. They're hanging out in the backyard watching PHPUgly. It looks like now that I'm mentioning it. Yep, they're watching us while floating in the pool. And of course, I'm doing this over a webcam. But the quality, I mean, I can see on the television that they're watching PHPUgly. I mean,
right, the camera is taking a 14 megapixel picture, and you're receiving a 1.4 megabyte file. So you're getting something that's totally usable, but not the source image, not 14 megabytes in the slightest. Whereas Apple to Apple communication, you're getting almost the full 14 megapixel image. Now on a phone screen, it's not a big deal. But if you're actually making a movie with an iPhone or doing something like that, and you're sending the iPhone images to someone else with an iPhone to edit, like wedding pictures and stuff, then it's like actually a significant difference, because they can adjust the depth values. They get almost the raw image.
I will say, Google, you've got to get your shit together with messaging. You're jumping around with how people using Hangouts. Now you do messaging through Gmail, and they have this extra little tab. You got to get your shit together, huh?
It's called Meet now. MEET.
No, it's not.
That was a
Gmail
while
now.
ago.
No, this is what I'm saying. Is they keep completely changing. So now when you go into Gmail, there are these little things down here. One's for chat. If you're doing a group chat, that's a whole separate thing. It's also in Gmail, and it's just like it's broken. It's been broken for a while.
Yeah,
they continue to not fix it correctly.
It gets so much dumber.
It is so frustrating.
So Google replaced Hangouts with a system called Duo.
Right.
Duo has been renamed to Meet.
Think it has. Are you sure?
Duo has been renamed to Meet.
It's still Duo on my phone.
By September, duo.google.com will redirect to meet.google.com/calling. This is a different Google Meet than the existing Google Meet that is also called Google Meet.
Google, get your shit together. I mean, seriously, man.
Seriously.
You guys got like $1 zillion. Just get freaking messaging rate, for Pete's sakes.
I don't understand what's happening, but there are now two separate Google products called Google Meet. They are wholly separate, and this does not include the business users. This is just end users who use Google Meet will now have to use Google Meet instead of Google Meet. But they will, for a period of time, both function as Google Meet.
That's awesome.
That wasn't confusing at all.
Nope, doesn't help anything. It is
I remember
crazy. It's crazy time.
I remember before cell phones became what they are today, wanting Apple to create a phone. When Apple creates a phone, I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to love it. And I got iPhone when it first came out. I did love it, but then Android came out and I'm like, oh, I got to have this thing. And I had to convince my wife why Google would be better for me than Apple was. And it was because I do more with Google Drive, Google Docs, Excel sheets, and in business, it's just going to be better for me to have a Google phone. So convinced her that I should get rid of my iPhone, switch to Android, and I was on Android for about 15 years almost. And in that time, I grew to a point where I hated iPhone, and then obviously last year switched back, and I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. But what you're talking about now with Google Meet and Eric complaining about the messaging systems, and I remember those frustrations. I'm now kind of happy to be back with the iPhone products.
Nobody cares what you have to say.
That
Jimmy.
integration,
I agree.
That integration though is so good if you're purely in an Apple environment, where you can have a FaceTime call on your phone, and then sit down at your desk, and it just transfers over to your MacBook.
That's cool, but I agree. If I had all of those things, it would be nice for that. But even without that, just things like FaceTime between iPhones is been great, where I don't have to, like, one, I absolutely hate Skype. I don't have to set up Zoom. Trying to now message with people on Android devices is not as convenient.
Yeah, I mean, Google's not wrong that the SMS space is getting confused and ugly,
but they're not helping the situation.
They're also not right that they have any kind of helpful answer whatsoever. It's a very devil's advocate situation where you're not bringing anything to the table other than the argument that things should be better or different.
Yeah.
I love my MacBook. I mean, as far as development goes, it's been the best. It's been the best upgrade I've had in a long, long time.
Oh, I forgot you got a MacBook. They didn't take that back, huh? That's awesome.
Shh.
I put that blue versus green bubble video in the show notes. Check it out. Go back to that.
Oh, are we doing Laravel? Because I've answered so many what's good and bad about Laravel questions this week.
Well, let's do it.
No. Before I'm going to finish my terrible week because I had a shitty day today. I had a shitty day today, and I just want to bring this up. I've been working on switching from the League's OAuth to client version 2 to version 3 for 3 to 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
The way it was built into the system was flawed to begin with. Now for me trying to upgrade it has been an absolute pain in the ass. The number of files I have to touch to fix this. I open up a PR, send it in for functional review, and of course they immediately find an issue. And it's
it says John Congdon on the PR.
Yeah. I'm like, crap. And they're like, because part of it was just a flat refactor where, all right, I need to change the function name from this to that. And then because it did that in so many different files and some of the sections of code, I just don't know how to go manually test. So I'm like, okay, it's probably going to be fine. And of course, they test that piece of code and it's not fine. There's other issues. I'm like, God damn it. Let me go fix that now. I get into this one area of code and I'm just getting these errors and I don't understand what's going on. So I start step debugging. Freaking step debugging with streams breaks the stream. Like literally, if I'm not step debugging, I can do an fopen on php://temp to open a temp file. If you start step debugging that, it breaks. And the code is literally fopen php://temp. If not is resource that variable, throw an exception. If you're not step debugging, that works. If you are step debugging, you open the temp file, you say, is this a resource? It says no and throws the exception. That drove me crazy for hours today. So I just putting that out there. If you're having that type of issue, you're not crazy. I was.
I mean, I hate to do this to you, but I think this is an old PHP issue. I believe this is a solved issue in modern Xdebug.
I don't think so. I'm on Xdebug. Well, whatever the latest version I can be on right now.
Right, that's the thing, is that you can't be on anything close to the latest version.
Oh, yes. I'm not that far behind for flipping grind out loud.
What, 7.4?
Now you're going to make me look. I don't know.
That would be PHP, not Xdebug.
Right, yeah, Xdebug is up to 3.2.
I'm on Xdebug 3 for sure.
I mean, have you tried submitting it to Derek? He doesn't have a lot going on. And he seems like a very reasonable, nice guy to help out one user.
No, I have not. This was just figured out today. I realized, thanks to the help of friend of the show, Andy Snell, it just flat out did not work. As soon as I stopped debugging, it was fine. Pissed me off.
I mean, there is some news for Xdebug this week. We've got Xdebug 3.2. 3.2 supports PHP 8.2, drops support for 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4. So you can't possibly be using the latest version.
Nope, definitely not using the latest version.
He's working on his YouTube series, and he got fully funded for this period of work, which is good to hear.
This period being this month or this like
July, being that he was on vacation and only worked 18 hours. So
one of the first videos he released, if I can interject here,
of course you can,
was using Xdebug with Vim.
I knew this was going to come up.
VD, well, yeah, of course you did. It was in the Trello board.
I actually started watching a lot of the Primegians, Primeagen.
Yeah.
And I know I've tried setting up a full like PHP setup in Vim, and I know you have one and you use it. I just can't seem to get things working the way I want it to, but I also don't spend that much time. I get in there for like 10 minutes and try and throw some plugins. I know must have a broken plugin from the last time I tried it. So every time I go to open a new file, I get errors. That just annoys me.
If there was only a friend you felt comfortable enough reaching out to, like a friend that reaches out to you when they need help, but I guess you gotta have some faith and trust in that friend that they know what they're doing. So yeah, I can understand.
I'm glad you understand.
I wish my dream is that for whatever reason, I have no justification for this, but for whatever reason, I dream that JetBrains will release a Vim plugin or NeoVim plugin, more specifically. I think they would kill it, even if it was like some weird thing where you had to pay for it. But I don't know. I would love to see JetBrains get behind Vim plugins on some level, just to kind of say, hey, we really do care about developers, which they always do show that. Like I'm not saying that they don't show that they care about developers. It's just, it's such a niche market. Like, I don't think you're going to have people say, well, I was just going to use PHP Storm, but now that JetBrains has this Vim plugin, I'm just going to switch to that. I think that the reality of that happening is very small. But there's probably more of a chance of real world Vim developers that would be willing to give JetBrains, some more playtime, because they're like, hey, they're good in our community. Let me show them some love. But
what do you think a JetBrains Vim plugin would do?
Just
make it hard to quit.
Even if it's just wrangled in other plugins for like PHP developers. Of course, I always think PHP developers. I realize JetBrains does a lot of other IDEs, but even if they just wrangled in and say, okay, here's the PHP plugin you need to get things, auto completion, jump to definition, especially now with this, with LSPs, which are these language servers that are out there. It's the language server protocol. If they would just create a language server that people could tie into, and then get all this kind of PHP Storm sort of behavior that people cobble together now with Vim, I don't know. I just think it would. It would be really cool. I would love to see something like that.
Well, you know what I love?
There's so many bad answers to that. I'm just going to let you finish.
the beautiful fever dream of our patrons on Patreon.
There's a new one.
I see that. Chris B, welcome.
Thank you, Chris B.
Hey, good job on that video.
Well, thank you,
Mr. Eric.
I'm getting allergies already.
We're gonna have to do a sticker email or mail campaign here soon. I think I don't know if we've done. I think we've done one this year, haven't we, John?
No, it was last year that I did it.
Really?
No.
The one I did this year is if people bought elephants and I recognize their name as patrons, they got
Stickers.
They might get a little extra something in their elephant package.
Yeah, we probably need to catch up a few Patreon supporters with their rightful gifts that we appreciate so very dearly. And thank you, Chris B, for
They are
for
mostly
joining the
stickers
list.
for other products.
Yeah, absolutely. Other podcasts that you should listen to.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
mostly just us
Educational
recommending
stuff.
you should not listen to PHPUgly. You should listen to PHP Architect and Roundtable.
I saw recently. I don't know how often you guys are. You probably don't really have a lot of visibility to it, but every now and then we get people who comment on old videos, and there's one in particular.
I can't wait to hear this.
There's one in particular. There's one in particular that they comment on a lot, and one of the commenters are, I don't even know how you guys, feel you're in a position to criticize other people. This guy has over 10,000 followers. You guys don't even have 1,000. I'm like, you're such an idiot. Like, you think that hurts our feelings?
Hey, man, that's 4 years of not even trying, buddy.
Exactly. It's like, the people we have, we have the best people in Discord. I think
Now I want to know what episode this is, because I'm sure I know who I'm criticizing.
Yeah.
It's that framework, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah, dude. Which
I don't care.
Keep in mind, we all take the bullet on that one. And I have gone back and watched that episode because I'm like, did we really talk that badly? Like, we have torn into Laravel 10 times worse than what you said about this particular project. And
I don't.
I went back and listened to it, and even you're like, I mean, yeah, sure, you're going off on one of your normal rants, but John and I, really don't say anything. And if anything,
no, and you guys, he made a supercut of all the negative things I said, and it's now the first thing that plays when you go to that framework's website.
Okay, if
it's
still
just
there,
me. It's just me. It's not you guys at all. And
but we get blamed. We all get blamed. That's what kills me.
Oh, it's nothing to do with you though. It's just this dude's fragile ego, and really the sad state of mental health in the world.
You're gonna be hurt. They took it off their website. Oh no. Right.
It's still there. First thing it plays is me.
No, it's not the first thing. All right, I'm adding this to Discord because we're kind of dancing around it a little bit because I wasn't trying to bring that much to it.
The dude can't post on Reddit anymore because his
really?
Yeah, his rating got bumped so low for attacking people on Reddit.
He is like a Donald Trump character in the PHP world.
I love this. Is this fast enough for you? That graph on the front page? There's no way.
It's an interesting community, and I can understand people being attracted to it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the claims that PSRs are bad for the community, that Composer is a negative impact, and that I made Composer better by centralizing under my name instead of under Package's name. These.
Well, all right. So
narcissism at its most standard.
So people watching the podcast or people in our Discord can see what we're talking about. We haven't called it out yet. Do we want to do that?
Oh, it's
for the
Trongate.
listeners?
Do we want to? Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Let's not have a discussion about it.
1.0 forever. The version of this framework is 1.0 forever. There will never be a 1.1.
Well, that'll make you happy. That's your biggest complaint with Laravel. They have new versions all the time.
No. The complaint is that the versioning is not sensible in Semver's version
Well, you're saying this isn't sensible. You're never gonna break.
You never
Yours
need to
at
upgrade.
1.0. You're good to go.
Yeah, the only support system you have is a man who's nearly homeless in Scotland.
Yeah, there's been some
We have
interesting.
no proof of him being homeless, so it's not even good.
No, nearly homeless. He's explained it on several of his videos that he has no money and is essentially blacklisted from the PHP community at this point.
Is he? I have never heard of this person or this project, with the exception of the time you brought it up, and then of course the times other people have. And he has a following,
Super Duper has a following.
But besides that, like, I've never been like with other, and I hang out with a lot of PHP people who have said, "Oh yeah, this guy's a dick." Like, this person's name has never, I've never heard of them before this, and it was just, so it's weird that you say that. I don't know if it's true. I don't ever hear this person. Don't care about him. Don't care about his project anymore, to be quite frank.
Well, so I'll tell you, this whole thing about the number of subscribers he has absolutely beats us to the ground. He's got 10,000 subscribers. This thing about views, no. He gets 300 or so views per video, and his most popular one. His most popular one in the last month or so is 3 reasons why Laravel is a dying framework, which I am open to consultation. I could have helped him out on this video. Never got contacted.
I was going to say, if he wants to see somebody start to criticize a framework, listen to. I mean, I think all of us have laid into Laravel pretty well over the years. How do you get to the freaking YouTube channel? I don't see. I'm on the website. I don't see any links to it.
It's his specific one.
What?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Oh,
I shared it privately, not on Discord.
Yeah, he posts every couple days. It's live coding sessions and weird.
I mean, there's something to be said for people who live code. And honestly, you're going to get views if you live code. You're right. It is only 139. There's something weird about this. Like, I'm not big on. I've watched
the term
enough.
Is schizophrenic.
I've watched enough of these YouTube investigators who call this type of stuff out, where you have this big of a difference between subscribers and views, where they say, okay, these aren't real subscribers. Like, if you have
it's called getting ratioed.
Yeah, a ratio. That's what it's called. Yeah, the ratio of subscribers to views. Yeah, that is weird. That is
what's
bizarre.
with that? What's with the 5th video?
Schizophrenia.
It's
Stop
the end
saying
of the
that,
world.
Tom. You don't know.
He's pretty clear about it in some of his personal videos.
Yeah, I don't know, John. I can't. I really have trouble even. I'm trying to watch just one of these just to make sense of something that's being said, and it's just rambling to me. I don't know.
Anyway, we've given him enough airtime.
No, apparently we haven't, John. That's the thing. We get a lot of snarky remarks about how we should be talking more about this. So they get their wish.
Yeah, no, could not imagine caring about this guy, especially after a lengthy personal attack on his homepage where he explains that I'm wrong about everything that I was quoting from other Redditors.
Well, somebody in our Discord had come across a link, like you said, just basically saying, "Oh, I'm going to sue these guys, PHPUgly." I'm like,
yes.
And when it was brought to me, I'm like, I thought it was. I swear to God, I thought it was a Patreon supporter. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're turning against us. What happened?
I want my money back.
I'm reading it. I'm like, who is this person? I don't know who this person is. And finally, I put it together. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this discussion. So there, all you Trongate people out there, all you Trongate,
both of you
listeners, we've spoken about it. Okay, we're not avoiding the topic. We're not afraid of him. That's something else. Oh, I bet you're afraid of him now, aren't you? You guys are scared. I don't give a fuck about him. I don't know who he is. I don't use his shit. I don't listen to him. Fuck him. Fuck you. You know? There. We've talked about it. Piss off.
Speaking of Laravel being a dying framework, this week's patch doesn't have any backwards compatibility breaking stuff. Very disappointed. Very disappointed to tell you. I went over the release notes. They're pretty reasonable and nothing that actually breaks any existing functionality.
Are you sure you don't want to bitch about the fact that they're new artisan commands? Because
new artisan commands are not backwards breaking. I'm perfectly happy with new artisan commands or arguments to old artisan commands that keep the formatting the same as it's been.
So there are new artisan commands.
They're pretty cute.
Show, yeah. They're really going above and beyond to make it so you don't actually need to log into your database server anymore. It's like, hey, yeah, you know, what do you need? I mean, with these commands, so there's a couple new commands. There's DB show, which will show you all the tables in the breakdown of your database. And I don't know what all the databases this works with. I know obviously MySQL, I assume Postgres, but maybe not Postgres. I saw something about Postgres.
MariaDB, Oracle. These are all commands to execute.
Right. And the artisan commands, DB show will show you your tables, will show you your database information. You can do DB table and do a deeper dive into a particular table. And then there's also a monitor, DB monitor, which
this is the one that I actually care about.
But it's not showing you like numbers of connections or anything.
It is.
Does it? Is that what the one is?
Yeah, it's showing you the number of current connections to the database.
Oh, okay. I didn't even use it. I'm like, okay, so you run it and it tells you your database is running. Great. I don't need that. I didn't realize it was actually giving you connections and things like that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's the other ones. I mean, there's always been database management stuff that can do this. None of it's really special. It's nice that it's in an artisan command and you can sort of debug some of your stuff based off of it. But you know,
wait. In reality, how are they getting this data? How are they getting the size of those tables?
But describing the table.
Does that give you size?
Yeah.
Am I dumb? Because
Yep. Select data length. Select table name as table, round data length plus index length, divide by 1024, divide by 1024 as size in megabytes.
Oh,
this is the information schema. This is the information schema which most people don't use in MySQL, but has a lot of information about the current operating state of your system. So, you know, most people, they've got the database they work in and they just play with that and stuff. But there's a core database in MySQL called the information schema. And that stores a lot of the current behaviors of all of the databases being run by the system. Now, this does not account for sharded replication or AWS data, or like there's a lot of stuff this can't do. I would say mostly in production, this is a totally useless amount of information.
But you don't run artisan commands in production anyway.
You shouldn't.
So I was wondering, like, number of connections wouldn't really matter if it's development environments.
Yeah. Well, but in your development environment, if you want to run a load test that emulates stuff and check for dangling connections or check for persistent connections, it could be helpful.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like it in the past where I spin up 6 instances and see 12 connections and wonder why I've got 2 connections per instance and have to figure that out.
Yeah. Oh, I've spent lots of time fighting that battle.
Yeah. Now there's a new validation rule that checks for a string doesn't end with a given substring. This is a regular expression. It is totally useless and bloats the framework, but whatever. There's a restore quietly for soft deleted models so that it doesn't throw events that say I'm being created again. Extended the config functionality has been extended to be macroable, which is always nice. More macroable stuff is better. Really helps with upgrade paths. But that's about it. I mean, like I said, nothing breaking. I'm okay with it. It gets the Thomas seal of approval.
Outside of bloating the framework.
Looking for.
But there was an interesting thread on Reddit where somebody said, hey, for compliance purposes, I've been told I need to subscribe to some resource that provides updates on Laravel vulnerabilities and security updates. Where do I get this resource? Currently running Laravel 7. Which is...
was 7 an LTS version?
No.
I don't even know what LTS versions are anymore.
I think it got abandoned, but if it didn't, it's 6.4.
Wasn't there a Laravel releases or something website? Or crazy versions, Laravel versions.
I don't know
Laravel
how you can
versions.
keep up with that.
Here you go. I'll throw it in Trello for Discord to have it. But yeah, there is a Laravel versions out there. So you said 7? I don't think 7 was a thing. According to Laravel version, there it is. 7 release date 2020.
Yes.
Bug fixes until. Wait, what?
Yeah, so 6 is the current LTS version, which gets security fixes until, let's call it next month.
Let's not call it next month. It is next month.
It is next month. It is less than a month away. I made the mistake of randomly turning to my wife and saying, "Hey,
I wish to talk.
Our
Can
son's
I talk?
going to be 20 years old next month," and she said,
"I would like to talk."
So you chose violence.
Listen to me. Am I reading 7 wrong? It says 7's release date was March 3rd, 2020. It's going to receive bug fixes until October of 2020 and security fixes until March of 2021.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's end of life within a year?
That was definitely not an LTS version.
I know.
Well, 8 got bug fixes until last month. No longer gets bug fixes, and it gets bug fixes until January.
Security fixes.
Security fixes. And 9, the current version, has 1.5 years left security fixes as well. There is no
right. LTS
there is no
is still
planned
6.
Yeah, there is no planned LTS moving forward. So there won't
I was going to say there is no LTS, right? Because LTS security fixes
5, and 6. Perfect.
No, as of 3 weeks from now, there will be no LTS.
5.1, 5.5, and 6. Yeah, it almost made it a full version.
Almost.
Wait, that can't be right. Did they officially abandon it?
Yeah.
Oh, they did? They made announcements?
No, we don't do that.
Oh, it's like I didn't realize. I thought I remember back in the day, and again, maybe this changed. I didn't get the memo that Laravel News was now the official blog of Laravel.
Yes.
And then it turns around, no, Laravel has a blog that they're all blogging to of stuff that doesn't go to Laravel News.
Don't know what part of this you're not understanding. The answer is yes.
I'm so confused.
Because this appears to be a troubling topic, and that the person who is on Laravel 7 no longer has support, but the person on Laravel 6 has support for 1 more month. I got a recommendation here for Enlighten, which is a security scanning, dependency scanning dev tool for Laravel that says, here's where your stuff might be insecure. Here's where the updated versions of packages are, what you should. It covers a lot of stuff. It's $200.
$200?
$200.
Wow.
For a team.
What?
Does not say per what though. It doesn't say per month or per year.
Project.
Just $200 per project. So I guess forever.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the whole that's the thing. That's the reason I put this here is the whole thread. The Laravel subreddit has kind of been imploding a little bit lately, with a lot of people saying, like, why the fuck is this changing? Like, why are we using Vite? Why are we not using Mix anymore? Why are we using Pint? Why are we using... I love watching the actual criticism come in, but the security alert question was just fantastic because it was a bunch of people really fanboying over Laravel and saying, like, well, bro, you're so stupid for not updating. And the guy saying, like, I can't update because Laravel 9 is so different than Laravel 7 that everything breaks. Like, it's not even possible.
Yeah, that's I still call that out as real world versus people who just hobby sort
this
of
is
code.
I mean, this is a serious real world problem, is that the LTS, like you just said, came out 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's the only existing LTS of Laravel is so out of date that you can't even do a straight upgrade, because in February Laravel 10 is going to release. Yeah.
And it's not LTS either.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. That's yeah.
Yeah, there have been 3 LTS versions: 5.1, 5.5, and 6.
I wish I had gotten. I still can. There's no reason I can't gotten more into Symfony. I still lean very heavily on Laravel for development now, and I don't know. I don't have a problem. I mean, it doesn't like it's that thing that we've talked about in the past, right? It's like, yeah, I use Laravel on client projects. When they have to upgrade, it's a painful and long process.
It's so painful.
Money, right? Because they got to pay me for that upgrade now. You know,
You're right. It is
no
good.
There's no incentive for me not to do that. But for PHP Arch stuff, it's like, we need to do a rewrite. Do I do it in Laravel? Like, do I really want to inherit that technical baggage moving forward? No,
Trongate, no third-party libraries.
It's true.
Duh.
Maybe we should be looking
awesome.
closer at only ever having a version 1.
That would actually be awesome to rewrite it with that. Just to be.
I'm
done.
I feel like it's been completely forgotten that LTS is a thing that
there you
people
go.
wanted.
I'm going to tell all you Trongate people out there that really want to stick it to us. I'm going to give you some insight how to do that. All y'all, buy a bunch of PHP Architect subscriptions, like hundreds of thousands of them. Let us get really used to that money, and then like in a year or two, cancel them all. That'll show us.
Just cut us off.
We would be like, that was horrible. Do that.
I feel like if I went to Dolly, the image generator, and typed in PHP stuffed elephant, I would get the Trongate elephant out of it.
All right. I think that's good, man.
I think
John wants to go to bed. He's complaining. I want to go jump in my pool because I think my family is still out there. And quick shout out. I hope you all get the opportunity to do this sometime. When your kids get old enough to have professional careers, you don't always get an opportunity to see them work. I talked recently how my one kid has gone down the path of becoming a nurse, and like it's just creepy if I hang out in that hospital wing watching them nurse. I mean, like it's really
Well, you should leave the sickle at home too. It's really off-putting.
But my other kid, who works for a trans family in San Diego, which is a community support for trans people, they do a lot of public speaking, and we've never been invited to watch them speak, and we've never wanted to invite ourselves because it's like this weird parent-child thing. But we got invited to go watch some public speak, and my wife was blown away with how good they were, and they were like I'm not today, nor was I when I was 24, as good of a public speaker as they are currently. And it was such a thrill to watch them kind of do their thing, and with it being public speaking and it being a big auditorium, and the topics are uncomfortable topics, obviously, or not uncomfortable, just I guess uncomfortable depending on who you are. Anyways, they're not topics that everybody can agree on and everybody has the same thought process on. There are a lot of questions that come, and just watching them talk to all these people and field questions and have responses and make people laugh and make people applaud. It was cool, man.
That sounds awesome.
I hope you all have an opportunity to experience something like that with your kids, because it was good. It wasn't as good as watching them do good in sports, which is kind of my thing, but it was still kind of cool. It's like it was one of those moments where
I like how you build them up like way up here, and then you're like, I'm gonna just kick them down a few notches.
They're gonna be all right. That was the whole thing. Like after all this happened, I mean, they had my wife crying. Like we're sitting in the back of the auditorium, and the wife's
cry is easy.
And I'm like, yeah. And so when it was all said and done, and I didn't make a deal out of it. I didn't even tell the wife, but like I come over to them and I give them a quick little hug, and I'm like, "Don't worry, honey, you'll do better next time."
Oh.
But yeah, it was great. I mean, it was good.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
No, I really said that, and yeah, it was good. I mean, like I said, I hope you all get an opportunity to experience something like that. It was enjoyable.
Sounds really cool.
All right. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I didn't know I had a cat. I'm like, what is under my foot? And it is a cat. Okay.
What is this squishy furry thing?
That's going to be it. I think we're going to wrap this one up. Send all your hate mail to Tom at phparch.com. And
watch it bounce.
Not an address I have.
I mean, we employ him just as much as anybody else. Well, speaking of which, where's our article at, you bastard? All right,
man,
that's going to be
so busy.
Maybe we should interview him. We'll actually get something out of him if we interview him. All right, that's going to be it. Episode 298, gentlemen. 298. We're actually one away from the infamous 300.
Can we retire at that point?
298. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Your cat is chunky.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't get the other one.
I'm mean. Oh, hey.
£28.
Wow.
Feedback. Kill the feedback. I'm now taken with Mr. Connolly, and I just watched his whole video on this free car giveaway.
Who?
What?
Mr. Connolly. Be respectful of the man that created Tron Gate.
Free car giveaway.
He's giving away his car.
He's giving away his car?
Yeah.
Why? What video is that? I'm not seeing that.
Free car giveaway bonanza.
Don't make me look through this channel, John. Just tell me.
He's giving away his car. Well, this was 2 years ago now because
okay.
He is so busy creating the most amazing framework and all the other work he does. He's coding for 26 hours straight, and he's an amazing developer. But he has to pay road taxes and other fees on his car that he can't afford, so he's giving away his car.
Oh, I can't imagine how he got 10,000 followers. I'm giving away a car.
But he's too busy
he's live
working to sell his car, so he's got to just give it away.
He's live coded for like 10 years. Like the dude's old school.
Discord, he might still hang out with us in Discord. I need a title.
Yeah, I had a couple I was thinking, but
he
Google Meet.
He does a Luna. Who are the winners and who are the losers? So is he criticizing Luna? What is Luna? That's not Lua.
It's hard to follow. It's very hard to follow.
Yeah, I don't know. I still can't find the car one you're talking about, but I believe you, Joe.
Well, so this is his YouTube channel, but he mostly was active on like a totally different service.
Yeah, I don't care. I do not care about this person in the slightest. And I'm sorry he got so offended by a little criticism.
Well, I just figured out how he got to 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
What, that first video? Or the second video? Third video?
No, I'm giving away a free car video.
No, his Insider Club video.
What?
David's Insider Club.
What's that?
You got to join
that's
David's
right.
Insider
That's
Club.
right. So he is old school code igniter. So he did a ton of code igniter tutorials back in the day.
Thanks. Yeah. What?
Yeah, no, like he's totally been a big community influencer for a long time.
Are you? What am I watching? Oh my god.
So the reasons why Laravel is dying is worst in class benchmarks, zero stability, and zero innovation.
To his defense, John, I mean, we could have gone that route, but we went Harry Mack, so,
Fun.
Oh my gosh, what is our most viewed video? I know that video, that one where we talk about Turngate is actually pretty high up there, but I don't think it's our most viewed. Sort by most views, most popular. Special PHP discussion with Sarah Goldman, 3.2. An old user group, SDPHP user group talk with Jeffrey Way at 775. Our PHPUgly Anthem, and then PHP Deviants, which is that show, if I'm not mistaken. Then it drastically drops off after that.
You're being called to the pool with refills.
We may need to. The show might get released a couple hours later today. Hey, I need titles. I'm gonna go jump in a pool, and
right.
bring my wife and some alcohol. So,
all right,
I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna kill the stream. Bye, everyone.